Ah, modern Simpsons, giving us gems like a serious Flanders and Bart Hood. The list doesn't go much further than that, though. Most people will argue a serious drop in quality over the years, and I myself am no exception. With recycled plots, confused attempts to reference modern culture, and characters being husks of their former selves, it can be rather difficult to pay attention. But 4 episodes managed to outdo themselves by being so objectively unbearable that even clip shows are more fun to watch. I'm ranking the worst Simpsons episodes ever. At number 4, we have Lisa Goes Gaga. What? Why is this not first? I hear you cry. Granted, IMDb would disagree with me on this one, with it being the worst rated episode at only 4 out of 10, but keep watching and I think you'll see it's justified. After all, every episode in this list has reviews calling it the worst episode ever. If you've been lucky enough to not have seen this monstrosity, I'll give a synopsis. Lady Gaga seems to have some kind of psychic powers, being able to tell when someone has poor self-confidence. Lisa has been particularly down lately, somewhat reverting her 20 years of character development, so Gaga insists on helping her. Her best solution is a flash mob, so Lisa gets all her stress out by having a huge rant at her, which seems to fix everything. Fine, this episode was probably just a shameless plug from Gaga, but if you take Lisa's stance of seeing through the rubbish Gaga spouts in the episode, I really don't think it's as bad as the others. It's not particularly funny, but it was at least a bit engaging. At number 3, we have The Musk Who Fell to Earth. What a surprise, another shameless celebrity plug. I was 12 when I first watched this, and not knowing who Musk was, really didn't care for the episode. Watching it now, it's not much better. Musk arrives at the Simpsons house for some reason, and is a lovely house guest, only talking to people if they provide the mental stimulation he seeks. Not sure if that was the writers tearing into him or Musk's genuine thoughts, but it doesn't set a great tone for the episode. Musk then discovers that he gets heavily inspired by the stupid things Homer says, then choosing to make improvements at the power plant. Everyone gets fired, so Homer breaks off his friendship with Musk, and he returns to space. After seeing it, I didn't know what I'd just watched. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to get it, but I genuinely felt this was worse than Lisa Goes Gaga, as it's unbearably emotionless and dull. At number 2, we have Bart vs. Itchy and Scratchy. When Krusty announces Itchy and Scratchy as turning female, Bart and his friends agree to boycott it. But when Lisa films Bart spitting his soda out and laughing hysterically at it, she decides to post it online to out him. Now outcast by his friends, Bart joins a group of girls called Bossy Riot, set on causing havoc to... Is banning sandals part of the patriarchy? I don't know. Not sure I'd love to smell people's feet during class, but whatever. When Krusty reverts his decision to have female Itchy and Scratchy, the girls plan to erase every original ever made. Bart considers this too far, so they tie him up and go to the studio. Agreeing with the girls' premise, but still loving Itchy and Scratchy, Lisa decides to save the tapes, inadvertently making a load of boys cry from the fumes of nail polish remover. Impressed, the girls ask her to join their group, and Bart leaves us with the final message: the patriarchy is a wiener. Where the hell do I even start? Maybe this episode did have more of a plot than some others these days, but it's redundant given how poor it is. I genuinely can't decide whether this was written by a bunch of sheltered women with their heads up their arses, or by a bunch of old men who read a couple of BuzzFeed articles and decided that that was what feminism was. Either way, this episode portrays an incredibly confused message, which is only going to polarize people, making women feel like reckless, illogical behavior is justified, and making men feel like women are actually stupid enough to believe this rubbish. As a woman, I can vouch that the only valid thing said all episode was the fact that women's pockets are too small. It's true, and it's bloody annoying, though probably not enough for me to denounce a whole gender over it. Ultimately, it's difficult to come away from watching this episode not feeling angry about some aspect of it. At number 1, we have the star of the backstage. This may just be the worst 22 minutes I've had to sit through. It's a perfect example of how unbearable a character Marge has become, with the addition of feeling obliged to now hate other characters, including Barney and Dr. Hibbert. Given that The Simpsons is stationary in time, it can obviously be difficult to retain lots of consistency, but they really went above and beyond here to revoke long-established law. Marge returns to being a stage manager to direct a play with her old friends. A woman called Sasha comes back, claiming to be a huge success on Broadway. It turns out that Sasha was a huge bully set on leaving Marge out of everything, so Marge decides to get revenge by exposing that she had never been in a Broadway musical, but the others jump to Sasha's defense. I genuinely cannot tell what the moral of the story here is. Except that life is awful? There were no other redeeming features. There wasn't one laugh. There was endless celebrity name dropping, and people in my GCSE music class wrote better songs than these. What do you think? Are these in the correct order? Are there any even worse episodes I've missed out? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe to let me know if this is the kind of content you want to see. And if you enjoy cartoons, definitely check out my other videos, as I make my own animations and would be so appreciative if you could help me kickstart what I love doing. In any case, thank you for watching.